Welcome to Santos Brothers Eat, food worth mentioning.
Where Chef Jeff and his brother Kenny talk about their amazing adventures eating and tasting food that is so incredible, they have got to just share it with the world.
My mouth is salivating already.
All right, so everyone, you are listening to Santos Brothers Eat. I am Kenny Santos, and I'm with my brother, Chef Jeff. How you doing, Jeff?
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
All right. And you are in the right podcast. It's called Santos Brothers Eat, Food Worth Mentioning. It's where me and my brother, we talk about food that we love to eat. And so if you love to eat just really good tasting food, then you're certainly in the right spot. And if you've listened to us before, thank you for returning. And if you're brand new, welcome. We hope that we provide some value for you. We're going to be talking about an awesome Italian bakery that has some great reputation. I found out about them on Blog TO. I realized just from talking with Jeff that they're a lot older than I realized. I thought they were kind of like new, like 2-3 years old, maybe 5 years old, but I guess they've been around 10 or 20 years. Isn't that right, Jeff?
Yeah, at least 10, 20 years. And what's funny about this bakery, it is in Scarborough.
Yeah.
And it's where we grew up is by the Scarborough General Hospital, so Lawrence McCowan area. They're more east and north. They're basically at 401 in Kingston, basically where Shepherd turns into Port Union. So for us, that is a bit more eastern than we usually go to. But a lot of my friends, I'm not too sure about you, how about your friends, Ken, but they say that this is one of their go-to places for lunch and for dessert.
Actually, as far as I'm concerned, the first time I ever heard of this was Blog TO. Probably I feel like it's only been within the last 2 years, sort of thing. So,
okay.
I was so surprised to learn that they're as old as they are and they have that legacy as old as they are. But after tasting their food, it doesn't surprise me why they're so popular. Oh, yeah. And what are they called? They're called
Lamanna's Bakery.
Lamanna's Bakery. Yeah.
Yeah. It almost sounds French because it's spelled Lamanna, so Lamanna, or like almost Nona, and then bakery.
Yeah.
So it is sort of weird. But I think the thing that sort of caught our eye first was they have these giant pizza slices. They're basically a 2-foot pizza slice.
Wow.
And they have the traditional pizzas like with pepperoni or vegetarian, but then they also have dessert pizzas as well. And
now,
those
dessert pieces are those kind of circular, or are those the wedge, like those big 2-piece, the 2?
No, they're the wedge.
Oh, nice.
They're the wedge.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The wedge or the slice. I don't want to mix them up with anything else, but it's a triangular slice. But it's huge.
Triangular slice, and they actually make these slices like by themselves. Like it's not part of a huge 2, 4. Like it's not part of a huge 4-foot pizza that they cut into wedges or slices. They make these individually.
Nice.
And it's usually 24-hour notice if you want to get one, only because they need the time to properly bake it so they know how many to make. They don't have these, ready to, who wants a 24-inch slice of pizza? It's not one of those big sellers.
All the way. Yeah, absolutely. And this is something that, like, if you did get it, a lot of people would be eating it. So it's kind of like, the lasagna in the middle of the table, or if it's one of those, if you get in the dessert one, it would be like, it could almost replace a birthday cake if it was for a big party, that sort of thing. So we're talking, they're big. I mean,
they're big, and they actually have like custom-made pizza slice boxes just for these huge slices.
Fun.
Actually, I'm looking at pictures on their Instagram, and I see a pizza slice that's a Hawaiian slice, but their dessert slices, like for example, they have a churro slice, pizza slice, party slice they're called, with caramel sauce, these churros on it, and dabs of whipped cream in the middle, like all throughout.
Okay.
So
it sounds good. And I will say this, like after having their food, I imagine that they do really good pizza dough. So like just to think about how awesome their pizzas must be and how awesome not only just their pizzas but their dessert pizzas must be, just thinking pizza dough with that caramel sauce and the churros and the whipped cream sounds really, really good to me.
Right.
So that's exciting. Yeah, we had a chance to try that. It was about 2 weeks ago now, Jeff?
I think so, yeah, roughly around just after New Year's.
Yeah, so very good. very, very happy that we tried it. We had some dessert from there. So do you want to talk about the dessert we had first, Jeff, or the
Yeah,
food
let's do desserts.
Okay.
So it's January 2021. We're still in the middle of the pandemic. So Diane and I went to Lamanna's. We didn't do curbside. They offer it. We wanted to go in the restaurant, and they're still limiting how many people go in just for safety and distancing, because we wanted the whole experience just to see what's inside, and get the whole sort of atmosphere.
Yeah.
And it looked great inside. They have a hot table. We'll talk about it later. A dessert counter, and then a pizza counter, which we'll talk about that later as well.
So as you say, there's all these different, almost like stations. There's one cashier though. Is that how it works? Like
actually, I think there was one cashier. And then so you bought what you wanted from the one cashier, and then you went to the hot table if you bought anything for hot table, you have that receipt ready for them to show.
Okay, so you pay first and then you collect. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly right. So the first dessert we got was the cannoli. So there's cannoli, and then there's cannelloni.
Yeah.
Cannelloni is the pasta. So tubular pasta filled with ricotta cheese, and then it's served usually in a tomato sauce. It could be a cream sauce depending on the filling, but so cannoli is the pasta, and cannoli is the dessert.
So cannelloni, that's the pasta.
Yep.
Cannoli, that's the dessert, and that's the tubular cookie, right?
That is right. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and so now first time I ever had because you can get cannelloni, you can even get it I would imagine even like PC and stuff, they make like a frozen version,
Oh yeah.
But cannolis, they're not just lying around, it's not always at a grocery store. First time you ever had one for me, I was telling you the other day, Jeff, first time I had one was when I was working at Canada's Wonderland during the Italian Fest.
Nice.
So they had that there. And I remember trying it and thinking, wow, these are pretty good,
Yeah.
And you might catch them at even like weddings or something like that, like on the hors d'oeuvre not hors d'oeuvre, but the dessert trays and things.
Dessert tray, yeah. That's right. So basically what they are, they're deep fried pastry. And so how they do that, they make the pastry, they roll it out, and then they shape it onto a tube, and then deep fry it on the tube. That way it keeps its shape. So when's finished cooking, like after the deep fat frying, and from there they pipe in a sweetened ricotta cheese, and there's many different flavors, like there can be lemon, chocolate, pistachio even, or just a sweetened ricotta. Like there's a regular cannoli is a sweetened ricotta, that's it. Maybe a dab of pistachio or chocolate, like the bits on there, just to add a bit more flavor and color, and that's cannoli.
Yeah, and it's always been one of my favorites. And often when I have cannolis, they're either, more often than not, they're soft, and they're not supposed to be soft.
No,
like it's a cookie. It's supposed to be a hard cookie, and so if they've been sitting too long, the cream kind of soaks into the actual cookie, and then you bite down on it and soft. I mean, they still taste okay, but I kind of like them crunchy. But then if they're too crunchy, they kind of fall apart, kind of like a fortune cookie would, like if you bite into one of those. And so
exactly right.
The one that we had from Lamanna, the timing was perfect, because when I had it, it was still crunchy, but it didn't fall apart. And it tasted, the cookie itself tasted good, and the cream inside was good too, which is important.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and so filled with like a ricotta. We see this ricotta and like whipped cream. Is that, do you think? And sugar?
Ricotta whipped cream, and sugar, like a sweetened ricotta. Ricotta is basically a very softened cheese. If you know the fairy tale Linus Muffet, it's I don't know tough at eating the curds and whey. Ricotta is part of the curds part. So it's a bit more chunky, but ricotta is more creamer. So they actually whip it a bit more. And then to make it sweetened, they'll take some whipped cream, fold it together with a bit of sugar. And so they have that nice ricotta filling inside cannolis, donuts, whatever you want to fill stuff with.
Yeah, that cannoli is good. I actually give it it's just a cookie, right? Filled tubular cookie. I give it an 8 out of 10. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 8. I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fresh. It still had the crunch to it. So yeah, it was good.
Absolutely. And I would say, like, even if it didn't have that cream, I'd be very happy with that cookie. You know,
Yeah.
it was just well made. You could tell that the way they make food over there at Lamanna Bakery is good. It's good. It's just good food. So,
Oh yeah. Well, they've been around for a while. There was a lineup for us to get in, so
yeah,
it's good food.
absolutely.
It's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for picking the food up, Jeff.
No worries.
Yeah.
The second item we had to share was their strawberry shortcake donut.
Okay.
So it was a yeast donut. It was a solid one, so think like a Boston cream donut. So there was no hole. They cut it in half, and inside were fresh cut strawberries and an Italian or a cream filling. So they took custard and again more fresh whipped cream, then fold that together. So it was nice custard, sweet custard, but it had a bit of more body to it than usual.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I was very happy with this. I didn't realize it was called strawberry shortcake. I just thought it was a strawberry donut, but it tastes like a strawberry shortcake.
Yeah.
The actual strawberry filling was very good. And it seemed really simple, like almost like they just sliced up strawberries, maybe a dash of sugar and mixed it up and kind of let, like, when you put sugar on those strawberries, it just sweats a little bit, like the juice is released. And
that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, much better than like a jam that might be in.
Oh yeah, I'm not a big fan of like strawberry or any sort of pie filling in a donut because it just tastes too sweet, too chemically, for the donut part.
Yeah, yeah, and so the strawberry shortcake donut, I loved all three of what you shared.
Yes.
The cannoli was the 8. The strawberry shortcake, I liked it more, so I'm gonna have to give it an 8.5.
Okay.
It was very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
The third item that we brought, and which is my favorite, is the lobster tail pastry. And hence the name. It does look like a lobster tail. Basically, if you go to Tim Hortons or any sort of donut shop and look for the cream horn, that's what it looks like. But the cream horn pastry is just like a how do you pronounce? How would you say it? Just a regular pastry. It's baked on a cone, so it keeps that sort of horn shape. And they just fill it with, I think, just plain whipped cream. The lobster tail is a very, very delicate and time-consuming process. If you ever took like Pillsbury dough, it's a triangle. You roll it up and you bake it, and that's their crescent rolls. Yeah. And that's the same formation as a croissant. It's a pastry. They roll it up into croissant shape. And that's why it has those layers upon layers of flaky goodness. Mm-hmm. It's the same process and I know I'm going to screw up with the pronunciation, but the actual pronunciation of a lobster tail is it's
Gesundheit.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Why don't you just spell it?
Sfogliatella. Yes, Sfogliatella. Okay. It's spelled SFOGLIATELLE.
Oh, okay.
Sfogliatella. I know I'm not in this pronunciation, but that's what the actual name of this pastry is. And so, like I said, they take the pastry, they roll it out to a very, very long shape. Then so it's nice and flat. Then they roll it up. So there's nice layers upon layers of pastry.
Yeah.
They cut that into discs.
Okay.
They flatten it out, so you still see the layers of pastry, and then they shape into a cone.
Wow!
And then they actually put in a cream puff dough or choux paste in the middle. Wow! So what happens there? So when they bake it, they'll have the outer layer of the crispiness, and then an inner layer of fluffiness in the middle. And then once it's baked, they'll hollow it out a bit. And then they'll put the custard and whipped cream mixture again.
Hold on. So they bake it with the choux paste in it?
Yes.
Wow. Oh, wow. That's pretty neat.
Yes.
But then during the heating process, it would kind of melt and they just fill it back up again?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Oh, that's why the inside has that gooiness to it, eh?
You're exactly right.
Oh, well, not gooiness, but it's so much. Oh, it's so good. Yeah. So when you say choux paste, what does that mean? Because a lot of people won't know what that is. What is that?
Okay, so choux paste is a term. Cream puff is sort of the anglicized version of a choux paste, or it's cream puff. So they actually bake the pastry on the outside, and they put some choux paste in the middle, and then they bake it. So
Yummy.
it's crisp on the outside, and then it's fluffy in the middle. So it's like two different pastries baked together at once.
That's what makes it so. Yeah, so it's way different than a croissant. Like it's different. The outside's kind of like a croissant, but the inside is different.
Yeah.
So, and then now typically lobster tails, do they come in different flavors, or is it like a traditional just filled with Italian cream? Or
as far as I know, I think they just have this traditional flavor.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. From what I'm looking at, yeah, there's no different flavors of lobster tail, so they just have there's just the regular flavor inside.
Yeah, and I will say the lobster tail, like both components, whether it's just the filling or just the actual pastry, like they both stand alone. So, and when they get combined, it's just a great flavor profile. Something that I would love to get again. As a matter of fact, I was talking to our mother yesterday about them, and she was asking about them again. So, yeah. And actually, when she asked me about a price point, I told her it's probably like $7 for one. But how much are they, Jeff?
They're actually only $3.99, so $4
Yeah.
for lobster tail, and the cannolis were only $1.89, so $2.
Yeah, I was expecting those to be a $3 item, the cannolis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then the donut.
Donut was
donuts like $3 to $5. So
it was $3.50.
Yeah,
so not too bad.
Yeah, very good. So those, I would give that one, the lobster tail, 8.5, maybe a 9 out of 10.
Yeah,
they're good, very good.
They were good.
Yeah,
yeah. Like I said, I sort of like the lobster tails. I guess the size and that sort of crispiness of the pastry, and then the filling inside. Yeah,
it's difficult to explain, like because you think, well, what's so good about a crisp pastry? It is something about it that is really good. And it's difficult for me to really convey in words how awesome it is. And it's something I invite you to try, because when you think of a pastry, you don't think crispy is a good word for that, but it is in this case.
It is, yeah. And then when it brightens the crispiness and then get the custard in the middle, it's a great combination of textures together.
Yeah, and I don't want you to think when you say crispy, it's going to fall apart on you. It's not like that. No, it's definitely unique enough that unless you've had a really good lobster tail, I'm glad that this was my first experience with an Italian lobster tail, because if the experience, if I had it at an inferior place, then I would prejudge it, and so I'm glad that I had it as this is my first exposure.
Oh, awesome! Yeah,
it was good.
Awesome.
Yeah, but you had some other food there, didn't you?
Yeah. So even though we brought some stuff to share with our parents, Diane and I, a bit selfish, but we got some hot food for us ourselves. So we got a quick lunch. Okay. So like I said, they have a pizza counter. So we'll show it on our Instagram. So they have a whole assortment of different pizzas. We didn't want a traditional pizza you could find almost anywhere. And what caught our eye was they call it the barbecue chicken cali. It was barbecue chicken with red onions, mozzarella cheese, and they had also slices of smoked Gouda.
Wow. And
that's what I cut her, and then had barbecue sauce instead of a traditional tomato sauce. So it's had that smoky and sweetness flavor together.
Yeah. So you had the pizza.
We bought it and we didn't eat it right away. We kept it for later on the afternoon. Yeah. So it wasn't fresh. I wish it did, but I give it like an 8. Okay. It was a good sliced pizza. The crust was delicious. Yeah, it was nice piece of crust, just thin enough. I haven't tried a deep dish pizza yet, but my pizzas, I like a nice thin crust on my pizza. So that's what I liked about it.
So like I said, when we were talking right at the beginning of the episode about how I'm guessing that they do pizza dough good. I'm sure that dough was awesome.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they're known for their pizzas, yeah, they must do a good pizza dough.
Actually, when you said that you're going to drop off some stuff from Lamanna, I actually didn't realize that they did like sweet stuff. Like I just thought you were dropping.
Oh, okay.
Like I thought, you're gonna give us some pizza. I didn't realize that we're gonna be having cannolis and lobster tails.
Oh, nice.
So
I'm glad you were surprised.
Yeah, I was absolutely. So it was good. Very good. I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, that's right. And then thing that we got, Diana and myself, was their Arancini. So Arancini is the Italian rice ball. So when you have risotto for dinner and you have leftover, risotto isn't the best when reheated. So what the Italians have done, they made arancini. So they take leftover risotto. They form it into a ball, and they actually will stuff it with either cheese and or meats and vegetables. And they shape it, make sure it's all sealed. They'll bread it, and then they'll deep fat fry it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I love arancini. I don't get to get it nearly as much. It's not something. It's like cannolis. You don't see them everywhere. You know.
No, it's right. Yeah.
I wish they were a lot more common. And so, if you wanted to get something like that, of course, you know, if you're in Scarborough, go to Lamanna's and get them there.
Exactly right.
You might find them at like certain Italian food trucks. Might have arancini.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember like the little Taste of Little Italy on College Street in the summertime when we were allowed food festivals. I know that some restaurants had it, and I know a food truck. I forgot what the name of it. They actually did sell arancini to go, and like it's a very easy, you know, walk and eat item to have.
Oh yeah, I love walk and eat. I love that. Yeah, and so typically arancini. How big were these, by the way? Because
these were pretty big. So the ones we had, like think of a tennis ball, and then with a cone. It was like a teardrop shape, and the tennis ball was the base. So they were pretty big. They're only $4.50, and $5 with sauce. And the sauce, when they gave it to you, they asked if you want the sauce on the side or the arancini dipped, like left in the sauce. And because we know we're eating it later, we ask for it on the side.
Oh yeah, like if you're gonna have it right away, just go ahead and have it like in a meatball, like in a sauce. But if you wait a bit, go ahead and have it on the side so you can do it properly. Otherwise, it gets
exactly right.
And so, you know, it's just like this beautiful, you know, because risotto is already good rice, right? And so just think of that with the what kind of meat was it? Was it Italian sausage, Jeff, in there, or?
I think it was the Italian ground beef. So the same sort of beef they made the bolognese with.
Okay, yeah, so like a meatball,
that's what it was.
Like an Italian meatball type of
exactly right.
With rice and some cheese and what kind of veg was in there?
Peas. So unfortunately, Diana wasn't pleased with the peas. She's not a big pea lover. Yeah. So I got her peas, but yeah, that's it was a nice combination. I remember when Diana and I were in Italy, we had arancini there, and this arancini had a nice blob of mozzarella in the middle, and I was able to like take a bite and pull it. So the nice mozzarella string was at least 3 inches long.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was good.
That's funny. It almost feels like when you describe it, you know, with the beef and like the veg, like the peas and then like the rice. It kind of almost reminds me like shepherd's pie almost, except it's not. Yeah. But it's
exactly right.
Yeah. So yeah, and then with the sauce on top or on the side, it sounds so good.
Yeah, it was delicious. One of my favorites. So yeah, if you go there, you know, then get an arancini. But their hot table had everything. There was like spaghetti, there was tortellini, there was rigatoni. And if I do go back, I'm a big lasagna fan. I like layers upon lasagna. Like and Ken mentioned, we did work at Ken's Wonderland, and one of the restaurants I worked at for quite many summers was the Italian restaurant, and their lasagna. It doesn't compare to this Lamanna's lasagna, but I'm a big lasagna fan. You know, can't get enough lasagna. Yeah,
it sounds like, you know, after tasting their desserts, I imagine that their entrees are so good. Yeah. Like, do they have Italian meatballs there?
They do. Oh. They have where is it? So I was just on the page right now. Italian meatballs, spaghetti with meatballs, and they get 2 meatballs. So when you think of meatballs, usually we think of the small little meatballs, but Italian meatballs are huge.
Oh yeah.
You know, and sometimes they're served by itself in sauce, and that's a meal upon itself.
Oh yeah. Like some places they only have the one meatball. Like it's all like you don't want to. Like it's just too big. Yeah. So
exactly right.
Let me get the meatball of them. That sounds good. And do they have like a hot sandwich going or no?
To be honest, I don't see sandwiches on here.
Well, they can't do everything.
Seeing any, yeah,
they can't do everything, you know. So I get that.
But you know what? I think they do actually, because they have veal cutlets.
Oh yeah, then they
and they bake bread there, so you know they must have sandwiches there.
Yeah. Okay. If they have if they have it there, yeah, they all they gotta do is just throw it together. Because I have a weakness for just really good sandwiches. So
yeah.
I'm looking forward to eating there.
With a little mustard.
Yeah, sounds good.
It was awesome. And then along with the arancini and pizza, Diana and I also got It's called their Lemon Alaska Tart. So basically, it's a lemon meringue tart. It isn't the usual tart shape. They actually make it into a cylinder shape, so more round. The crust was delicious. And instead of a dollop of meringue, they actually put it on nicely and they spoon it out a bit, so nice and flat. And when they did the char or the burner on it, when it bruleed or browned up a bit, it looked really nice. Yeah.
Well, one of my favorite dessert profiles is lemon custard, as Jeff knows.
Yes.
So it sounds like it was really good.
Oh yeah,
it sounds good. I imagine their crust is good, and I didn't have a chance to try it, and so I'm glad that you did. Yeah.
Well, next time if you're gonna go, you might as well go. Get something different that you didn't have before. But I'm sure you'll go again, like just because there's the variety of what's there. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to try their meatballs, to tell you the truth. I want to try their meatballs, and I want to, maybe have a lemon tart with that, or who knows.
Yeah. And not to sound stereotypical, but the person that was at the hot table looked like an Italian grandmother. She had everything ready. I just asked, arancini with sauce? No. All right, this is your order. There we go. Exactly right.
So that's good. So Lamanna's, they are at 401 in Shepherd, Port Union, Kingston area. It's easier if you just look them up. It's hard to even explain.
Right.
But they're lamannasbakery.ca, and we will leave their website in our show notes, as well as their Instagram, because you can get a lot of good information about them from their Instagram posts.
Oh yeah,
we'll leave that as well. All right, so now if you enjoyed this episode, and if you're getting value from what we're talking about, and even if you intend, hopefully you guys intend to try out Lamanna's, and you get value from our cast, then we invite you to do something super simple. We invite you to either like, subscribe, share, and comment. Share it with your friends. And also, if you have a chance, go ahead and leave us a review, either on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get it, whether it's on Spotify or otherwise. Go ahead and leave us a review, and of course, subscribe. It's a super easy way, and it's a simple way for you to support our podcast and to do so for free.
And then until next time, remember this quote from Julia Child: "People who love to eat are always the best people."
Absolutely. And that, of course, includes my brother, Chef Jeff Santos, and I'm his brother, Kenny Santos, and you as well, if you love to eat food worth mentioning. Thanks a lot, everybody.
All right, take care. You've been listening to the Santos Brothers Eat.
Food worth mentioning.
I might have that next time I go there.
It's so good. It's so good.